This is day one of my challenge. I want to use the opportunity for this challenge to let everyone know who I am, be open and honest and transparent, which is who I hope I am. Those were just filler words in my nervousness to get started, but I really want to use this 30-day challenge to help me unpack what's I believe is in my subconscious and really try to get those things out into the conscience, the conscious world, the conscious of my mind, and be able to express those things more freely. I think there's a tremendous opportunity for others to get to know me through this, see the growth from not being that good on camera, not being able to articulate my thoughts, and then hopefully to a point where I can do this more freely, easier, by doing this once a day for at least 30 days, and hopefully this becomes a habit and I'm able um, to continue on this journey and you can follow along with me. Um, I'll let you in on a little secret here. I never have done restoration. Some may hold that against me. Some may discount me for that, and that's fine. I'm a firm believer in the right people will reach out, and the right people we will connect. So, if you're one of those people who holds restoration above all, fine. There's plenty of people out there for you. But if you're one who um, sees restoration as a vehicle by which you can achieve your goals, if you're one that sees restoration as the vehicle by which you can spend more time with your family and break the chains or regraft your family tree, whatever metaphor you want to use, then those are typically the people that I connect with best. My background is in transportation, logistics, getting things from point A to point B. I learned a valuable lesson in my career at a Fortune 500. I don't know if I can say where I worked or, any of those things, but I'm not going to. One of the largest transportation organizations in the world. We'll just put it that way. I was not in the small package world. That may give you some idea where I used to work. I was in the full truckload world, completely different world. One of the things I learned there was that you want to look at the principles of life. You want to look at the principles of business. Don't look at the task or the job that you do. Look at the principles by which you do them. And that will get you much better results. And the reason I learned that is because we used to hire college graduates who were engineers, specifically mechanical engineers, folks that studied plumbing and electrical and things along those lines, because their job or building infrastructure, it doesn't matter if it's plumbing, it doesn't matter if it's electricity, it doesn't matter if it's packages in tractor trailers. At the end of the day, you're trying to get things from point A to point B. Business is the same. You want to get a customer from point A to point B. I am very much a logical thinker. I think in terms of a linear pathway. And I really think that helps me help restorers, because restorers think about the job. They think about the science. They think about the equipment, the fans, the dehues, and all those sorts of things. But at the end of the day, I'm able to help them systematize their business because I think in terms of linear I think of wet to dry. I think of clean to dirty. I think of customer hearing about us to customer paying us. All of that's a journey from point A to point B. That's how my brain works, and that's what I bring to the restoration industry. If we think in terms of systems, and we think about the players who are involved and accountable for the systems, then we're able to build a business that grants us the freedom to do what it is that we want to do above and beyond business. Some people it's family, some people it's hobbies, some people it's community. It's different for everyone. And helping restorers, who we've dubbed Restoprueners, helping them get outside of restoration and separate that so that they can really process what it is that drives them at their deepest core level is something I'm very passionate about. Believe it or not, being 6'5", almost 6'6", and over 300 pounds, I'm a big guy. I get asked all the time, did you play football? Where'd you play football? I didn't play football. Believe it or not, I didn't play any organized sports. And that's another story for another day. There's a lot about me in my past that has shaped me, shaped who I am. And I believe it's that life journey that's brought me here to this place where I am passionate about helping others discover their passion and helping them use their business as an asset to their life, not a liability. To go back to the sports conversation that I just touched on, I'm incredibly passionate about giving my children opportunities to do things that I didn't get to do. I am super passionate about being involved in those activities to whatever degree that I can be. I've got a kid in gymnastics, I've got a kid in theater, and I've got a kid in football. I don't get to be as involved in some as I am in others. But it's incredibly important for me to design a life where I can have impact on my children and by extension have impact on my community and have a job or a career that affords me the opportunity to do that. I just so happen to be in a position where I'm able to help others also do the same thing. Where we find challenge is guys and gals starting out in restoration, living the E-Myth. And if you haven't read the book, that's a book reference. Go get the book E-Myth and you'll understand. But the whole idea behind the book is you start a business because you can do it faster, better, make more money on your own timeline. And you do all those things. And then you get a whole lot of business, and then you hire people. And then before you know it, you've got this thing that's consuming way more time than you ever expected. And now you have another job that's actually consuming more time than it did when you were an employee. You're probably getting paid less if you were actually to work it out in a per hour basis. And you're just consumed with it. 9 times out of 10 is because you don't have the systems in place. You understand how to get work, perform work, and you've been able to bolt together this structure that the people you have working for you, you're all able to get it done. But because you don't have the systems, now you're the person you're the you're the one that everybody's coming to for questions like, how do I do this, or what do you want me to do about this? We don't have the structure to empower the people that we've hired. A lot of times what we find is the people that we've hired are great workers. They're great. Maybe they're good managers. They're not great managers, but they're certainly not leaders. And we see this a lot in the first $500,000 to $1.5 million is generally where we see this. There's a few rare birds out there. Don't get me wrong. There's some people that have done very, very well. They've come from the corporate environment. They understand business structure and things along those lines, and they're very strategic about how they're hiring people. Um, and those are super fun to see. But more often than not, we see people who have jumped into the truck. They're still chucking the truck to a real degree. They're still out every day in the field, and they're not working on their business. They're not building the systems to allow them to hire people to put in place and then just say, hey, run the system that I've already created. They're just saying, hey, I need you to do this work. I need you to fill this hole or plug that hole or scoop water here to bail out here. So my passion lies in helping restorers, restopreneurs who have gotten to the $1 million range. They've got people, they've got plenty of work coming in, fairly consistent work. Maybe it's a little up and down. We can help with a little bit of that, but where my expertise lies is putting the infrastructure in place and developing people from being managers and into leaders. Managers focus on tasks. Leaders focus on outcomes. And micromanagers, they hyper focus on the tasks. So that's where I really think that my expertise lies as a systems guy. I don't really put myself in a category of being a leadership mentor, but I'm finding that a lot of this comes down to helping people understand how to lead rather than manage. So I guess in that regard, I would say I certainly do spend quite a bit of my time helping Restopreneurs become leaders. It's wild for me to think that, and it's really weird for me to say that out loud. But at the end of the day, it seems like what I'm doing is helping develop leaders. And at the end of the day, my core mission is to help small local service businesses utilize their business as an asset for their life and not a liability. I really hate to see, this was me. I did have my own business, a local service business. I didn't do restoration, but I found myself spending so much time, so much energy, so much effort in just trying to pay the bills. The kind of the old school workaholic mentality, more, just more jobs. Give me more jobs. Let me fill my schedule with jobs. Instead of focusing on, let me get enough jobs to pay the bills, not get rich, but pay the bills, and then hire someone so that I could get some time back to then focus on sales and marketing, to get more leads, to hire another person. When I started doing that, that's when I really started having fun. Focusing on building the systems. And I got to a point where from intake to receivables, collections, it was all covered. I had a person for each one of those roles, or multiple people for some of those roles. And I was able to work on hobbies. I was able to spend time building relationships in my community, to a point where I had people coming to me, and this is the journey that I've been on. I had people coming to me saying, man, you haven't been in business long, how are you doing it? And I was like, well, what do you mean? I mean, this is all I know. I've got a degree in logistics and operations management, and I spent 15 years in one of the largest transportation organizations in the world. Without really realizing it, I was learning systems and operations, so that when I had my own business, it somewhat came natural. I had some lessons to learn, but it somewhat came natural. So I had people coming to me saying, man, you haven't been in business long, you got trucks all over the place. Well, actually, I only have a couple of trucks. I don't have that many trucks. But we're very efficient at what we do. And I've got the right people in the right seats doing the things that I need done. Very specific, very planned out. And we're able to get around our city. We're able to get around and be seen in a lot of places because we are very efficient. So, in saying all that, to bring this full circle, I'm going to spend the next 30 days just talking, letting you get to know who I am. It's an exercise for me getting in front of the camera to learn how to talk, to do this better. But it's also going to be an opportunity for you to get to know me, get to know my heart, get to know my purpose, my passion, and hopefully through that, I would love to have comments. Drop a comment below if any of this resonates with me, with you, and just tell me what you think. Please engage, and most of all, if you're a Restopreneur and any of this resonates with you and you're interested in figuring out what this journey looks like, be sure to jump into Restoration Business Academy. We've got a free tier. Jump in. There's a discussion board. We can have conversations about anything that is challenging you in your business. And if you want to hit me up with a DM, you can certainly do that inside of Restoration Business Academy. I've got it up all the time. Please reach out. I would love to connect with you and see where you're at on your journey. Find out the things that you're passionate about. So, without further ado, I'll call it there. Not a bad first video. Tell me what you think. How did I do? I'd love to hear your feedback. Give me some tips on how I can present better. Maybe I can articulate thoughts better. I'm open to all of it. So, thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow.